Hi there and welcome back to Korea. You see, we're in Korea for a change. We're not in Japan. And this is a surprisingly apt place to be to talk about the new Dreamcatcher song. Because, you know what? We're usually not in Korea when we talk about them. We're usually in Japan. So this makes a nice, apt change. And you know what? We have to talk about this song as well because recently I had done a review about the Dami solo song Beautiful. And when I did that, I did have to point out at the time that I'd said, hey, this is a new song. I'm going to check this out. And then I had missed that they actually had a full band song out, this song, which is why I'm now reviewing this song. I left a little flash saying I was going to review this song. Now I'm here reviewing this song. There you go. That's the setup for this review. I'm here because I'm in Korea and I said I'd review this song, and we like this group. We like this group because, as has been pointed out before, although we usually cover Japanese groups here, this is one of the very few Korean groups who, just to me, when we first heard them, they embody everything that we like about those Japanese groups who do fusion. And so it was just one of those bands we thought, well, we don't want to leave these by the wayside. Let's go check them out occasionally when they have new songs. And here we are. I said that was the setup. That is the setup. I swear we can start the review now. Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I start the review? Okay, here comes the review. And it's a difficult one because, you know what, just like the song Because that I had reviewed not so long ago, this song does something which is very difficult for a reviewer, because as a reviewer, you're always listening to hear the things where you go, that's different, I'm not sure about that, maybe that doesn't work, maybe they're improving this. But again, just like Because, this is a song where I really feel like they kind of nailed their formula. Yes, it is different from Because. This is definitely more of a charging song that sort of blasts along. It's got a real tempo to it, a real thump to it. It feels very urgent, but again, it nails the basics. So let's just cover those first of all. One, catchy chorus, as seems to be the way. They like their choruses to have a bit of a breakdown, but they do it nicely. It's not just a breakdown where it goes like an instrumental loop and you're like, oh, you know, sort of build up, breakdown. Boom, 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 boom. We've all heard that stereotype meme. No, it's not one of those. It breaks down from like the big build up to a very sort of like chanted chorus. And that works really nicely. It's got really great production. The guitar work usually is in there to give them a slightly more rocky edge, but they mix it with some nice synthesizers. I like how on the bottom end you've got, as is often the case, you've kind of got like two basses. You have one which is like the sub bass, really laying down the low end of the bass notes to really sort of key in each of the chord changes. But then you've also got like a saw synth just above it, sort of in the lower notes, but still quite, quite audible, which is doing a few little sort of bass riffs, a few bass flourishes there. So they've got a couple of layers of depth to the bass of this song underneath the guitars. So they've kept those pop qualities along with the rock quality. Again, it charges along in a way that feels very reminiscent of a rock song. So between the catchy chorus, the good flow, and of course they use the verses always passed them between the members, you've got a nice second verse in which Dami again comes in and does a really nice little rap here. I would say by her usual standards, this is not like one of her most standout ones, but it's good. There's some nice changes up in the rhythm. She adds a little bit of fun attitude to it as always. So basically all the core basics are there. So is there anything that sets it apart? Well, I mean, first of all, we should just say, isn't it great that a band is still able to deliver singles that are all different enough to be worth listening to, and yet at the same time do nail the formula, which they seem to really be getting on top of these days. But what other things can we say about it? Well, I would say that the things that to me really stood out, first of all, is that pace. I got a sense of urgency that I don't always get from some of their other songs, and that I really liked. I mean, a lot of people probably know that although I'm into a lot of different types of music, I lean towards, I've always had a bit of a love for songs that have a bit of pace to them, that, use their time well, that fill up all their time and are quite concise. This is not a particularly long song, but it does a lot within that time, and it does charge along. Now, apart from the fact that it's a very well-paced, sort of fast-moving song, I also really liked the turn at the end. Now, there isn't much in the way of a bridge here. Often, as I mentioned, not many other Dreamcatcher songs really charge along in the way that this one does. You often get, like, the verses very thoughtful, and then a big chorus or a pre-chorus building up to a big chorus. Then you'll get, like, the bridge will often be a breakdown. They tend to sort of go between quiet and loud, whereas this is starting off running and hits the ground running and just feels like it's building up like a snowball all the way to the end. Now, this doesn't waste too much time in the bridge because you can tell they don't want to suck too much energy out of it. And when you get to that final chorus, you've got this sort of building thing happening underneath. You've got the choral sort of backing vocals come in to take a place of some of the chorus vocals themselves. So the vocals themselves now have layered up. There's more. There's a sort of call and answer going on there. You've got this building thing underneath, like I say, where the chord patterns coming in, and it's going up, and it's going up, and it's going up, and everything's really accenting that building feeling. And to me, that means that this song, even though it delivers a very fast-paced verse, chorus beginning, they know that even then they have to deliver a crescendo. They can't just rest on that. It's got to build to a big ending. And it does. And I think that the way they executed and layered that ending... What is going on out there? It just like sounds like someone driving along on a motorbike with like a trolley full of pots and pans at the back. Where was I with this? Yes. So, are they coming back up the road? So, where was I? Yeah, so for me, the things that really set this apart from a lot of their other songs is the fact that this is the one you want to go for if you want something which is really sort of more intense, more intensely pacey. Yes, it doesn't have as much internal variation as some of their other songs, but it does have that core, like, direction, that feeling of purpose. And it builds upon it well. It doesn't let go of it, and it really takes you all the way to a crescendo. So maybe more purposeful. Maybe it is their more purposeful, direct version of their formula. But again, it still manages to really hit all of the formula things that make you come back to this group. And that's pretty positive. Yeah, if you're doing a single that sounds like a single because it's catchy, sounds like you because it hits the things that people expect from you, and at the same time delivers a slightly different twist on your sound, that's a good single. So whereas I said Because was really them nailing being them, this to me is them doing that again, but in a different way. Might sound like faint praise, but that's a big compliment. So get in the comments, tell me what you think. Did you like this? I really enjoyed it. Thought it was good. Some crazy fun. Bit of English, bit of French, and the core language of the song in there as well. What did you think? Tell me in the comments. Looking forward to reading it until I hopefully see you very soon for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.